If you work with calls, meetings, support logs, or compliance audio, this launch matters because speech-to-text is often the first bottleneck in the stack. Bad transcripts ripple into search, summarization, analytics, and agent workflows. Cohere is now stepping into that layer with Cohere Transcribe, and the headline claim is straightforward high accuracy, tuned for enterprise speech intelligence. The immediate reason to care is not just that another ASR model shipped. It is that Cohere is trying to turn a messy audio pipeline into a more production-ready component. That means fewer proprietary handoffs and less dependence on stitched-together systems. The useful question is whether this is real progress or just leaderboard noise. Based on the source, there is real signal, your strong benchmark placement, a deliberate architectural choice, and a clear scope. But there are also practical limits, and those matter just as much as the score. The model is not just a generic transformer with new branding. The source says Cohere Transcribe uses an encoder-decoder set up with a large conformer encoder and a lightweight transformer decoder. That detail matters because Conformer is built to balance the jobs that ASR always struggles with. One is catching local acoustic detail, like short phonetic shifts and rapid transitions. The other is holding broader linguistic context across a sentence. Convolution helps with the first part. Transformer-style attention helps with the second. Cohere is leaning into that hybrid design instead of chasing a broader but less focused architecture. Training is also described in plain terms standard supervised cross-entropy. That is not flashy, but it is stable and proven. So the architecture story here is not novelty for its own sake. It is product-minded engineering around a known ASR problem to turn audio into reliable text without overcomplicating the core model. Cohere says Transcribe launched at number 1 on the Hugging Face OpenASR leaderboard on March 26, 2026, with an average word error rate of 5.42%. The source also lists benchmark sets like AMI, earnings 22, Giga Speech, Libre Speech, SPGI Speech, TEDLIUM, and Vox Populi. That breadth makes the claim more useful than a single cherry-picked result. The comparison points are also concrete. The article says it outperformed Whisper Large V3 at 7 point for average WER, 11 lagged Scribe V2 at 5.83, and Q13 ASR 1.7B at 5.76 on the cited leaderboard context. There is also a human preference angle in English, where annotators preferred Cohere transcripts over several competitors in head-to-head comparisons. That said, the right read is measured. Leaderboards are helpful, but they are not the whole deployment story. Still, this is enough evidence to say the model enters ASR with serious performance credentials, not just marketing language. The most practical detail in the source may be the least glamorous one. The model is designed around 35-second audio segments. For longer files, the system splits audio into overlapping chunks, runs each through the model, and then reassembles the text to preserve continuity. This is how Cohere handles long-form recordings like earnings calls or legal audio without blowing up GPU memory. That tells you a lot about the product philosophy. Instead of pretending one giant context window solves everything, Cohere is using workflow orchestration to make the model usable at production length for buyers and builders. This is important because long-form performance is often where demos break. The upside is memory efficiency and operational stability. The caution is that good chunking, unclean reassembly become part of the real system, not an optional extra. So the story is not just model quality. It is model quality plus disciplined pipeline engineering. This is where the release gets clearer. Cohere Transcribe looks strong, but it is not trying to be everything. The source says it supports 14 languages, which is a focused set rather than a 100-language claim. It also performs best when the target language is predefined, and it does not natively include speaker deorization or timestamps. There is no explicit automatic language detection, and it is not optimized for code switching. Those are not small footnotes. In many enterprise deployments, they shape whether a model can be dropped into a workflow, as is or needs more tooling around it. So the clean takeaway is the signal is high accuracy AS, or with a clear architecture and practical long from handling. The noise would be treating it as a complete speech stack. It is a transcription engine first. If your use case needs deorization, multilingual ambiguity handling, or richer metadata, those gaps still matter.